what's up everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought, since I have to go grocery shopping, I might as well share some tips and tricks when it comes to grocery shopping and being on a budget. If you just moved out of your parents' house, you just moved to college, you just moved in with your significant other, these tips are sure to help you out. So let's get on with the video. Alright, so I have 5 tips for you all. These tips have helped me out since I moved out of college and into my apartment with my husband. When I was in college, I didn't really like the food there. In the dining hall, their vegetables were really greasy. They kind of didn't have a wide variety of healthy foods, or the restaurants on campus like The Habit or Chick-fil-A. They just weren't healthy options for me. So when I was in my apartment on campus, I would go to Target. Target might not be the best place to start when you're a college student. It is very expensive and not very fresh, but that is where I went. Don't get me wrong, I love Target. I go there almost every day. But when you're a college student who has no money and only gets about $100 every 2 weeks, it's kind of expensive. So I would go and I wouldn't really think about what I wanted. I'm like, oh yeah, I want some fruit, or I want Hot Pockets, or I want a snack. Just something not in the dining hall. That is where I went wrong. I would spend like $80 on just these few items. I would literally get Hot Pockets, granola bars, apples, maybe some cereal and milk, and that was it. That was all my money. That was $80. So when I got married and I moved out into my own apartment, I thought I need to do something better. I'm with another person now. I don't want to be spending too much money on thinking about just random food that we can have in the house. I really want to sit down and think of things that can help us out. So I came up with these 5 steps, and they have honestly helped me so much. Me and my husband, we do them every single time we go grocery shopping, and it is the best. Okay, so step number 1, you want to budget out your money. So if you are a college student, or you are living on your own, living with a roommate, or living with a significant other, you really need to think about budgeting the money that you have collectively or by yourself. So for example, me and my husband budget out $150 for groceries to last us 2 weeks or so, kind of a little over 2 weeks. It works for us because we get to have a little leeway when it comes to needing more things. If we need, some more vegetables or some more fruit, we kind of have that extra cushion to be like, okay, yeah, we can spend this amount of money on groceries, even though it's not payday week. But you really want to think about how much money are you willing to lose every single paycheck, because that is the best way that you are going to get the amount of groceries and the amount of food that you need to last you for 2 weeks. So if you budget out $100, only budget out $100 every single 2 weeks whenever you get paid. If the money fluctuates, then this isn't really going to work for you, because you're going to fluctuate between having little groceries, having too much groceries, or having too little money and having too much money. You don't know you're not budgeting it as well as you could be. So pick a number and stick with that number. That is the only way you're going to learn how to budget your money, especially if you are moving out of your parents' house for the first time. You really need to learn early on, this is how you budget money. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with it. And that is how you get better at budgeting money for other things like bills or anything else you might want to budget, but that is for sure going to help you out. So the second step you want to do is you want to think of the essentials that you need for every day. So your daily meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, what do I eat for breakfast 9 times out of 10? What do I eat for lunch 9 times out of 10? What do I eat for dinner? So what we did was, when we first moved in, we got only essentials and very little things that we needed on our day-to-day basis. So kind of like tomato sauce, beans, oil, salt and pepper. Those are the kind of essentials that you need. But for your daily essentials, you don't want to only get the essentials for your household that you can recycle through. You want to get things that you eat on a daily basis. So if you have eggs every morning, you want to make sure that you put eggs first on your list because that is what you eat every single day. If you eat cereal, apples, bagels, whatever you eat on a daily basis, you want to put that on your list. If you don't have enough money to afford the other things on your list, you can at least afford the things that you eat every single day, and that will last you. And then you will get better at recycling through them, getting more bulk, and finding different ways to get those things and other things on your list. For me, I like to have cereal or a bagel or some oatmeal. I kind of recycle through those things every other day. I don't really eat the same thing every single day. I like to maybe switch it up. But I know for lunch, I'm not a very big meal eater. I like to snack a lot just because stress in school, and I have never been a really big eater. But I know if I get bags of chips, just huge family size bags or regular size bags of chips, I'm going to go through that entire bag within a day or two. So what I figured out is to get a variety pack of chips or healthy snacks or anything like that. It keeps me more portioned out and I don't snack the entire day, because if I have the ability to snack the entire day, then I will snack the entire day. But getting things like that, if you're a snacker, or you know, if you want sandwiches, if you like actually having lunch, think of things that you can eat every single day, like salad or sandwiches or chips, if that's what you want. But you need to think about how to expand that variety of food so that it can last you for 2 weeks. My next tip is to plan out your meals. So what I mean by this, you don't have to meal prep, but you really want to think ahead before you go grocery shopping. So before you go grocery shopping, you really want to think, okay, what can I make for dinner for these next 2 weeks? It might be a little boring, but what can I make for dinner? I usually like to go on Instagram and look at healthy profiles that I like to go on, see their recipes, see what I can make that is easy enough for me and doesn't involve a lot of ingredients. What I also like to do is take that one recipe that has, you know, the vegetables and the meats. I like to be, okay, this has this amount of vegetables in it, the same kind of vegetable. What kind of meal can I make with the same type of vegetables so that I can have a variety of foods? If you go based off one meal, then you're going to be stuck for the rest of the week and be like, what am I going to make? I can't keep making meatball soup. So what I like to do is to get kind of a variety of vegetables like zucchini, green beans, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, bell peppers, things like that. I like to find meals that work with those types of vegetables, only because vegetables aren't that expensive. So when you go to the grocery store and you get a lot of those types of vegetables, it is a lot easier to find recipes to alternate during those 2 weeks where you make dinner. That way it's easier for you to bulk up on these vegetables because you have different types of recipes or different types of dinner ideas that you want to do, so it's not so boring and you're not eating kind of the same meal every single day. That way you can have the same type of vegetable every single day, but just in different ways. So I suggest making a meal plan, kind of figure out, what do I want for dinner? What am I gonna make? You know, if you're gonna make pasta, okay, get pasta, but also think of what can go with this pasta, or how can I recycle this pasta? If you really like to eat a lot of pasta, how can you make that pasta last you longer? So that is what I like to do with that step. It really helps you out, especially if you are just now living on your own and you're not that great of a cook. You can find new ways to make your favorite meal, or find new things on Instagram, or just Google in general. I like Instagram because there is a lot of accounts that give you recipes and they're mostly free. So it is a lot easier to figure out how to cook for yourself and for your significant other or your roommates. So that is a very essential step when it comes to saving money. If you plan out your meals, you're not going to the store and being like, I'm just gonna grab a whole bunch of vegetables and a whole bunch of protein and carbs, and I'm just gonna throw them in my car and we're gonna leave. And then you go home and you are like, wow, what can I make with this food? I have no idea. So you're sitting there struggling, or you're sitting there eating the same thing every day because you don't plan out what you're trying to eat. The fourth step is to pick the store where you want to shop. Don't just go to a random store and be like, yeah, I'm gonna walk in here and it's all gonna be okay, I have $100 to spend. You really need to plan what stores you want to go to, which stores have the best deals for you. So everyone has gotten these flyers. I'll put a picture right here. Everyone's gotten these flyers where it has the best deals of the week for that store. What you want to do is either look at that flyer or go online to the online flyer, which is what I do, and pick out what you can use from that store. So for me, I like to use Winco and Sprouts. If you don't have a Winco, you can use any other store. Just make sure you look at the flyers before you go, or kind of know the price range of that store, because I know for Winco, the price range isn't that big. It's a very kind of off-brand store where you can get the same food for cheaper. But if you like to go to, Vons or Ralph's or Stater Brothers or something like that, then you need to know what the price range of that store kind of is, and see if it's like a Stater Brothers or an Albertsons, they're kind of expensive. But if you can find a different store that's not, then that's gonna work for you. But I like to go to Winco for kind of my pantry items, for bread, yogurts, snacks, stuff like that, because they have a wide variety of foods. But I just choose to go for the items that aren't as expensive as they would be at a different store. Now for Sprouts, I like to get my vegetables and my fruits because I think their vegetables and fruits are fresh and they look better to me and they taste better than what I would get at Winco. And at least I know at Sprouts they are dropped off at Sprouts, cleaned, washed, and some of them are organic, in which I like to eat some organic stuff, but if it's too expensive then I won't do it. But online flyers can be super helpful because if you have, say, a list, and on your list you have, okay, I want to get blueberries to make a smoothie. But if you go on the Sprouts online flyer, you see that raspberries are on sale. Okay, you're gonna go with the raspberries instead of the blueberries because these are the ones on sale. This will save me more money. So the online flyers can be really helpful in budgeting your money. They can really show you, okay, these are the deals of the weeks. How can I make my grocery list compatible with these deals so that I'm getting the best of my money and I'm spreading out my money for the next 2 weeks? So that is what I like to use because it is super simple. You can just go online. You don't even have to have a mailbox. If you're a college student, you can just go online and find out the best deals for you. And my last step is to make a list. So when you make a list, as I said earlier, you want your essentials at the top and things you think you will need at the bottom. Making a list can be super helpful, especially if you are budgeting your money, you don't have that much, you're living on your own, and you won't go into the store and be like, oh, I want cookies, I want chips, I want this, oh, that looks good, I'm gonna try that. No, you're kind of forcing yourself to stick to a list instead of just walking in there and being like, oh, well, I have this budget, but I'm not gonna reach it. I'm just gonna grab a couple things that I want and that I see instead of sticking to your original list. So you really want to either write it on your phone, which most of you will probably do, or write it with pen and paper like I do. Going in there being like, okay, I have a list of what I need and I'm sticking to that list because I have a limit. If you are done with that list and you finish, then you could allow yourself to be like, okay, I have some wiggle room, I can get those chips, I can get those cookies. But with sticking with an entire list of things, your essentials and your meal plans, then it will be so much more beneficial for you when it comes to figuring out what is best for you and spreading it out for 2 weeks or more. So that is what I recommend. These tips have honestly helped me so much, me and my husband. We do them every 2 weeks and it has saved us a whole bunch of money because we, from the beginning, sticked with one budget, got what we needed, spread it out. Yes, we've gotten some things that we shouldn't have, but for the most part, we got our essentials because they were at the top of our list and we had some wiggle room to be like, okay, we can get Cocoa Puffs or something. Well, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you stick to these 5 steps, budgeting, essential meals, planning, online flyers, and making a list, you will be so much closer to being better at budgeting your money, especially if you live by yourself or you're a college student. The more money, the better to go do some fun things or go and pay your bills. I really hope these tips help you guys out. If you have any more questions or some tips of your own, feel free to comment down below. I can answer any questions as well. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel and share with all your friends and family. Follow my social media links down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.